You are out of order. Honorable members, those who have not registered, I give you free advice. Register. Order members, you may be well resourced now. If you want to know how fragile resources can be in a human life, go and read the book of Job in the Bible. And read it properly, the whole of it. It will tell you and demonstrate to you how fragile wealth can be. You can be a billionaire today and be a pauper tomorrow. And this scheme will help you at your most lowest moment in your lives. And not just for you and your wife, for you and your husband, and your dependents who are of age described in the scheme. Honorable members, I now put the question at order number 9, which is that pursuant to the resolution of the Parliamentary Service Commission of 23rd June 2025 with respect to the trust deed and rules of the post-service medical scheme for members of Parliament, this House appoints the following members of Parliament to the Board of Trustees for the post-service medical scheme for members of Parliament. Number 1, the Honorable Samuel Chepkonga, CBS MP. Number 2, the Honorable Mary Emase Otucho MP. Number 3, the Honorable TJ Kajwang MP. As members of that opinion say aye. Aye. Will those of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Now to order number 10.
Order number 10, the Constitution of Kenya Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 4 of 2025, second reading, resumption of debate interrupted on Thursday, 26th June 2025. Mover to reply and voting.
For avoidance of doubt, members, I had said we'll call the mover to reply, but is there any member who still wants to contribute to this bill? I repeat, is there any member who wants to contribute? Mover.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, in accordance with Standing Order 82.3, I will donate my 2 minutes only to the Leader of Majority. Only.
Leader of Majority, the donation is 2 minutes.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. And since I have not contributed to this debate, I just want to register my support for this bill, Honorable Speaker, and also assert, as was said by many members, that NGCDF is the most impactful fund that this country has ever had in the history of our independence, Honorable Speaker. True, Honorable Speaker, is just to say that NGCDF is not in competition at all with our devolved funds and our county governments. Honorable Speaker, if anything, NGCDF supplements what the national government is doing and also what our county governments are doing in offering services and service to the people that all elect us. And with those few remarks, Honorable Speaker, I wish to support, Honorable Speaker, and also support the national government affirmative action. Honorable Speaker, I think when we refer to NGCDF, we incorporate the national government affirmative fund as part of NGCDF, because as affirmative as it is, Honorable Speaker, it also serves in very good interventions on social programs that would otherwise not be under any program under the national government and even under the county governments, Honorable Speaker. And I commend our women leaders, especially our women reps, for the great work that they are doing across all our counties. In fact, Honorable Speaker, these women reps do much more than those who have more resources are doing in counties, Honorable Speaker. And I commend them, all of them, and I beg to support, Honorable Speaker.
Otienda Molo.
The Leader of Minority wants 1 minute. I'll donate.
Donate 1 minute.
Mr. Speaker, I stand also to support this constitutional bill. But Mr. Speaker, I want to speak to the Senate, our colleagues, Mr. Speaker. and request them to support this bill. Because, Mr. Speaker, this bill is not about members of parliament. It is about Kenyans, Mr. Speaker. Because any money that is devolved benefits the Kenyan people, Mr. Speaker. And as you are aware, the senators are already enjoying the Senate Oversight Fund. Every senator is getting 1.5 million shillings, or is it 1 million, every month, Mr. Speaker, per constituency. So, Mr. Speaker, why we are doing this is to help Kenyans, not to help ourselves. Member of Parliament does not benefit in any way from the national government CDF, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, with those few remarks, I want to urge the Senate to support this bill, just like the way they support counties, because every cent that is devolved benefits the people of Kenya. Mr. Speaker, I support.
Give the mic to Otieno Amolo.
Mr. Speaker, since the introduction of this bill on 12th March this year, we have had discussions in the last 4 months. Indeed, even the pre-publication stage, we had discussions. During public participation, we've had discussions. Since moving the bill, Mr. Speaker, there's been overwhelming support from the members. And it's important, Mr. Speaker, that the members have been able to explain that this bill is in consonance with constitutional principles, especially the distinction between devolution and decentralization. The members have been able to disabuse those who think that these monies are in competition with devolution, because we've been able to explain that this is extracted from the national government share of revenue. Mr. Speaker, the members have been able to outline the limited and peripheral role that members of parliament play. Members here have been able to extol the virtues of the fund and adumbrated very clearly the benefits to the citizens. And that in fighting these funds, the three funds, you are not fighting members of the National Assembly. You are fighting the citizens of Kenya. Mr. Speaker, it is important to observe, as has been observed, that it's in keeping with the reduction of imperial powers of the executive that we ended up with these kinds of funds. And anyone who is opposing really wants to take us back to that period. Mr. Speaker, it is also very important to understand that we sought to constitutionalize these funds, not because it was absolutely necessary, but because we are tired of unnecessary litigation. It is also important to understand that we chose to go the parliamentary route, not because we could not go the popular route, but because the popular route is expensive to the people and not required by the Constitution. But if those other people think that you can curtail this because you are fighting the National Assembly, then we can still go the popular initiative route and we will still achieve it. Because through public participation by over 230 entities and individuals, 98.5% supported this. We are quite sure that if we took this to a referendum, we will still get the same threshold. And anyone who therefore thinks that they can curtail this process, know you are fighting the people. Mr. Speaker, I beg to reply. Thank you.
Thank you. Members on their feet, take your seats. Johanna Ngeno. Johanna Ngeno. Take your seats. Then freeze where you are. Honorable members, this question that I'm putting does not require your immediate vote. I now put the question at order number 10, which is that the Constitution of Kenya Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 4 of 2025 be now read a second time. I have been advised that we have the requisite numbers to vote. I now order that the division bell be rung for 5 minutes. As the division bell rings, the whips should be on your feet to ensure that none of your members who may be absent-minded loitering out there are called in to join in this vote. Now ring the bell for 5 minutes. Yes. How are you, bro? Good.
Well, that quorum bell on your end signifies the division on the Constitutional Amendment Bill 2025, where the Speaker of the National Assembly, Honorable Dr. Moses Wetangula, has directed that the division bell be rung for 5 minutes to allow members of Parliament who are still within the presence of Parliament to make their way back into the chamber this afternoon for the House to commence the vote on the Constitutional Amendment Bill of 2025. And this is a bill that is seeking to amend the Constitution. And among the amendments is that there be establishment of the National Government Constituencies Development Fund into the Constitution. And this is for the purposes of ensuring the provision of exclusive national government functions in each constituency. According to the bill, the National Government Constitutional Fund, this being the National Government Constituencies Fund, shall be a national government fund consisting of monies appropriated from the national government's share of revenue as divided by the Annual Division of Revenue Act enacted pursuant to Article 218 of the Constitution, and the monies allocated under this article shall be considered as funds allocated to constituencies to the provisions as an Act of Parliament. The bill seeks to entrench a number of funds into the Constitution. Among them is NGCDF, the National Government Affirmative Action Fund, and the Senate Oversight Fund into the Constitution. During the debate on the bill that has just concluded this afternoon, after the move of the bill, Honorable Tiende Amolo was called upon to reply, members say that the enactment of the NGCDF, NGAF, and the Senate Oversight Fund into the Constitution will end the unnecessary litigation on the legality of the fund. The bill has a number of objectives. Among them is the establishment of the National Government Constituencies Fund into the Constitution to ensure reasonable access to exclusive national government functions in all the constituencies as envisaged in Article 6, subsection 3 of the Constitution, and ensure the participation of the people in the identification and multiplication as well as prioritization of the national government programs. The move of the bill, just a few minutes, has just said that any person seeking to oppose this bill, the House will equally get the same response if it were to adopt.
Ringing the bell. I hope every member is in the House. Honorable members, I now order the doors to be locked and the bars to be drawn Order, members. Take your seats. Karemba, you are the one holding the illegal Kamkunji. Take your seats. Take your seats. Take your seats. Members, take your seats. The member with a tarabush, take your seat, Betsimba. I believe that is the correct name of what you are wearing on your head. It's called a tarabush, right? Tarabush. Yes. Members, you remember during your induction, you are told when you are voting, you remain in your seats and you maintain studious silence. And more so, when you are voting on a constitutional matter. I expect all of us to observe the etiquette we set for ourselves in our standing orders. Kawanjiku, what is your crisis? Very good. Members, for avoidance of doubt, I'll now remind you of the question, which is that the Constitution of Kenya Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 4 of 2025, be read a second time. Members, now, I give you 120 seconds to log in, and don't vote. You'll just log in and wait. Okay, log in. Don't vote yet. Just log in and be patient. Order, honorable members. Order. Order, members. Although it does appear overwhelming, but procedurally, I should still have tellers for yes and for possible no. So, whips, can you give me one teller each? Wamumbi, be a teller, but since you are voting electronically, remain where you are to vote. Millie, who is your teller? Mawade, take your seat. You are a teller. Remain in your seat and vote. But for the record, you are the two tellers. Don't vote yet. I'll tell you how many you are first. It has no expiry period. Just hold it. Honorable members, I want everybody to be at the same level. If you have any challenge with your card, we have ICT teams around. In the event, order Wanjala, order, in the event that your card and your gadget malfunctions, order, in case your gadget malfunctions, those with profane minds are already laughing. I'm not talking of your gadgets. I'm talking of parliamentary gadgets. In case your gadget malfunctions, you will come and record here. We have, honorable members, we have present 286 members. In addition to those, we have the 4 members who are indisposed, who will also be allowed to vote. Okay, so once more, be ready now.
It has gone off.
Kwame, what is your problem? If your gadget is malfunctioning, sit, I'll call you to come and vote.
It has malfunctioned. Time.
Tiambati. Just hold your horses. Just hold your horses. Okay. You can start voting now. Order, as I say, start voting. I see some members holding their cards in the air. I said you vote in silence. And Wanjala, I said when you are voting, you remain in your seat. Go to your seat. Why is it counting backwards again? There are members who are checking their mind. Members, voting electronically is now over. I will now deal with the virtual voters first. Then there will be assisted voters. Yes. Yes, okay. Yes. Honorable members, Alice and Mrembo, you are assisted voters. Let's finish with the virtual voters. Take your seats first. Order, members, order. All members who are assisted voters, member for Thika, member for Bahati, Wanjala, you are also analog. So you can come to the table and be recorded. The rest of members remain in your seats. The only other members I will tolerate to come here is Wamumbi and Mawathe as the tellers. Order, members, order. The number of members flocking here as assisted voters far exceed the tally that I expect. Where is Wamumbi and Mawathe? You assist the clerks to verify. I'll give you 10 minutes to do that. The rest of the members remain in your seats. Tiambati, I give you 10 minutes for this. Honorable members, from my records, the assisted voters should not be more than 9. Yes. The assisted voters should not be more than 9. You are 286. 277 have voted electronically. Yes. And probably there are some of you who voted, but you don't know that you voted. Anyway, they will edit you out of the list. Yeah? Yes. Are you getting some who already voted? You didn't vote. So go here and vote. You'll vote here as an assistant voter. And for the assisted voters, once you have been assisted, you go and take your seat. You see, what you do, just record them, the names that are voting yes. You'll edit out those who are voting twice. Since nobody voted no. Yes. You just record. Order, members. Member for Moyale, take your seats. Parashina, take your seat. Member talking to majority leader, take your seat. Okay. Rose Museo. And then the virtual ones. You're supposed to be on your seat. Yes. Yes. Tiambati, from the head count, we are about 321.
Haya, from the current present, wale ambao wamekuja hapa, on this side was 9, on this side was 10, so we are still 86 and they all voted yes. So,
But I have asked for Monday to count for me. He says this side is gotten 166, and Robert Mbui this side got 165.
okay, let's do again. So that
Honorable members, order. Honorable members, obviously, order member for Malindi, take your seat. We'll stop to take the virtual vote as soon as they log in. Have you assisted them? Yes.
I wait here.
Eh? Honorable Kirwa. Do we ask him? Honorable Kirwa, how do you vote, yes or no?
Yes.
Thank you. Next, we wish you a quick recovery. Next member. Next is Samal on the, put him on the screen.
Would it be a good idea for Mumbi and Bui to count again? Would it be a good idea?
That is Honorable Sloya. Is that Sloya? Honorable Lawyer, how do you vote?
I vote yes.
Thank you. We wish you quick recovery. Next. Order, we have no information about Koimburi. Stop bringing his name here. Honorable Samal, how do you vote? Honorable Samal, you voted yes. Thank you. Wish you quick recovery. The last one. I'm told Honorable Wambilianga cannot be reached. She's not logged in, so she's a lost vote. Who? Koimburi made no request to Mr. Speaker on how he wishes to vote. Order, honorable members. Order. Order, members. Honorable members, I believe that the number we have and the numbers present may not be tallying properly. You are many more than I think I'm getting. I want to ask the two whips. Osoro, stand here and count everybody on this side for me. Millie, stand here and count everybody on this side for me. And everybody remain in your seat. This is a constitutional moment for you, and we want to have the numbers properly recorded.
From the machine, they have registered 286. But those who voted are 277 electronically. Yes. Yeah, it's still here, yes.
Order, let him do kila shetani na mbuyu wake. Order. Mwango, take your seat. Yes. Honorable members, we've now properly verified the numbers. Members who voted electronically, 277. Members who voted virtually on a special request and acceptance by the Speaker. Order member for nominated member. How many times do you members want to be told that when we are in a voting situation, everybody remains seated? You remain in your seats and learn from your leaders. You know, Jomo Kenyatta's book, Facing Mount Kenya, says, animals in the wild, small animals watch the behavior of the giraffe. And for this purpose, the giraffe are your leaders. The Junet has not left, Ichungo has not left, Osoro left, and merely because of my instructions. Watch them, they are your giraffes. Go and read Facing Mount Kenya. It is not the other Mount Kenya. It's Mount Kenya as seen by Mzee Jomo Kenyatta. So, honorable members, electronic votes were 277, virtual votes were 3, and the rest were assisted voters, who were about 11, I think. So we are more than what the machines had recorded. We are 301 present and voting, and 3 of our colleagues who are indisposed voting virtually. I now give you the results of the vote. Honorable members, the results of the vote are as follows. The ayes, 304. The nays, 0. Abstentions, 0. I now order the bars to be... Pardon? Yeah? Oh, okay, okay. Read. Hold the bar, hold the bar. Of
A
course.
bill for an act. So,
The ayes have it, right? Let me repeat for the record. Number of voters, 304. Present and voting, 301. Voting virtually, 3. So total votes, 304. The ayes, 304. Nays, nil. Abstentions, nil. So the ayes have it.
a bill for an act of parliament to amend the Constitution of Kenya.
Now open the bar and open the doors. This is the 21. So you need to announce. Honorable members, that is not the end of the vote. You will still have to vote in the committee in the third reading. So, honorable members, will you now be upstanding?
Order number 11, Committee of the Whole House.
Deputy Speaker.
Honorable members, this is the Committee of the Whole House to consider the Constitution of the Kenya Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 4 of 2025.
Clause 2.
Honorable members, I propose the question that Clause 2 be part of the bill. Honorable members, I now put the question that Clause 2 be part of the bill. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Title.
I propose the question that the title be part of the bill. I now put the question that the title be part of the bill. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 1.
I now propose the question that Clause 1 be part of the bill. I now put the question that Clause 1 be part of the bill. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Mover.
Honorable Chairperson, I beg to move that the committee do report to the House its consideration of the Constitution of Kenya Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 4 of 2025, and its approval thereof without amendments.
Honorable members, I now put the question, which is that the committee do report to the House its consideration of the Constitution of Kenya Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 4 of 2025, and its approval thereof without amendments. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Honorable members, Mr. Speaker.
Mover, chairperson.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to report that the Committee of the Whole House has considered the Constitution of Kenya Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 4 of 2025, and approved the same without amendments. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Mover,
Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that the House do agree with the committee in the said report. I also request the Honorable George Murugara to second the motion for agreement with the report of the Committee of the Whole House.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I beg to second.
thank you. Order, members, take your seats. Lekuton, take your seat. Some members just enjoy running across the floor, even if you take them to take the nearest seat. Shinali, take the nearest seat. Honorable members, I propose the question, which is that the House do agree with the committee in the said report. Honorable members, I now put the question, which is that the House do agree with the committee in the said report. This is a noise vote. As many as of that opinion say aye. Aye. Will those of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Mover. Hold on, mover. Take your seat.
Order number 12, the Constitution of Kenya Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 4 of 2025, third reading.
Mover.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that the Constitution of Kenya Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 4 of 2025, be now read a third time, and I also request the Honorable George Murugara to second.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I beg to second.
Members on their feet, take the nearest seats. Muliongi. Take the seats, honorable members. Honorable members, Kipepeo, take your seat. Honorable Soro, freeze then. Honorable members, I now propose the question, which is that the Constitution of Kenya Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 4 of 2025, be now read a third time. I now put the question, honorable members, and you don't have to vote. I now put the question, and I confirm that we have an overwhelming quorum today, which is that the Constitution of Kenya Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 4 of 2025 be now read a third time. Sergeant, ring the bell for 5 minutes.
The division bell is once again on ring mode as the constitutional amendment bill of the year 2025, this being bill number 4, is now on the third reading, with the speaker directing that the quorum bell be rung for 5 minutes for members who had perhaps stepped out of the chamber to come back for the House to vote on the bill again. At this particular juncture of this bill being stage number 3, the House will be voting again like they did at the second reading, with the threshold being 233 members. The bill has already passed at the second stage of the bill, being an overwhelming vote for the bill. The total number of members who have voted for the bill is 304, who have voted to entrench NGCDF, Senate's Oversight Fund, and GAF into the Constitution. Again, it's the 233, which is the required threshold, thereby surpassing that number. Upon the lapse of the 5 minutes directed by the Speaker, the Sergeant at Arms will be directed to draw the bars and close the doors for the House to vote for the Constitution of Kenya Amendment Bill at the third reading. Again, our dear viewers, the Constitution of Kenya Amendment Bill is a bill that is seeking to entrench NGCDF, Senate Oversight Fund, and the National Government Affirmative Action Fund into the Constitution. According to the movers of the bill, this bill being sponsored by 2 members, the member for Arieda, Honorable Paul Otiende Amolo, and Honorable Samuel Chepkonga, the bill will be seeking to ensure that there is reasonable access to exclusive national government functions in all the constituencies as envisaged in Article 6, subsection 3 of the Constitution, and ensure that there is participation of the people in matters identification and implementation of priority of national government programs. Allow me to hand over back to the chamber.
And members, you are already logged in, so this time round, don't disengage your cards, leave them where they are. Members who recessed to the rear, the 5 minutes are over. I now order the doors to be closed, to be locked. Lock the doors, draw the bars. Members, get to your seats. Go to your seats. Now, in the interest of time, members whose gadgets malfunctioned, we don't have to wait to start calling you. You can, as we go into the vote, you can start streaming to the table to record your vote. Members ready? Clerk, are you ready? Yeah? Don't log out. You are already logged in. If you haven't ensured that your machines are working, your gadgets. Don't vote until I tell you to. But I'm waiting for you. Kiambati, since there's no contention, whether we'll see the attendance here and we'll see people voting. Yes. Can we tell them to vote now? Yes. You can now vote. The clerk say, hold on a little. Clerks, be efficient. Ready? Yes. So you hold. I'm told the clock is still ticking. I already put the question. Kajwang. Order, Elisha. You are an assisted voter? Then that does not include chatting away and laughing. You just queue here and wait to vote. Ready? Continue voting, those who have their gadgets working. No. Just be here to assist. Huh? Assist the... Assisted voters. There was Murembo, there was Nganga. Or now your machine has worked. The end of electronic voting. Assisted voters. Wanjala, you have been assisted? Well done. Taitum, you are also an assisted voter.
Yeah, the gadget is not working. What am I going to do?
Mary, hata wewe ni assisted.
But my machine is not going off.
Yes. Has Honorable Rose Museo been assisted to vote? Yes, okay. Now go to the virtual voters. Honorable Kirwa, how do you vote? Yes or no?
Yes. Yes.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Honorable Kirwa. Get Honorable Samal.
Thank you. Thank you.
Or was it Siloya first?
Yes.
Honorable Siloya, how do you vote? Yes or no?
Yes.
Thank you. Get Honorable Samal. Honorable Samal, how do you vote? Yes or no? How do you vote?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. Is Wambilianga available now?
Yes.
Thank you. You can discharge Honorable Samal from the screen.
Yes.
And this lawyer. 3. So 15. This plus this one is 285. 283. So 0.
Yes.
Did we lose some members?
Yes.
Yes. Votes 5. Ayes.
So in present voting is 283.
Yeah. Electronic is 283.
283.
Virtual 3.
Virtual 3.
And
That is
assisted
2,
voters.
2, 2, 2. That is 286. Plus 12. Assisted. Kuja hii na kuja hii. Not here.
298. It's 298.
298. Not 295.
Order, honorable members. Order. Nyamita, take your seat. Honorable members, the results of the division are as follows. Number of members present and voting is 295. 295. Electronic voters, 283. Assisted voters, 12. Virtual voters, 3. Total, 298. So the results of the division is as follows. Ayes, 298. Nays, 0. Abstentions, 0. So the ayes have it.
A bill for an act of parliament to amend the constitution of Kenya.
Now you can open the doors and close the doors. Next order.
Order number 13, motion consideration of the performance audit report on the provision of services.
Order. We'll go back to statements, clerk. We left, go back to order. Call out the order on statements.
Order number 7, questions and statements.
Do you think we'll have any? Members who had requests for statements. Where's my order paper? Eh, Baba, habari. Beatrice Elachi. We are back to order number 7. The following members had requested to request for statements: Elachi, member for Isiolo. Elachi, go ahead. Give Elachi the mic.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to request for a statement regarding the transitional mechanisms from the 844 to the competency-based curriculum education system. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 44-2C, I wish to request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Education regarding the mechanism of transitioning students who missed to sit the KCPE and KCSE examinations. Honorable Speaker, the rollout of competency-based curriculum CBC to replace the 844 system of education resulted in the Kenya National Examination Council (NEC) administering the last Kenya Certificate for Primary Education KCPE examinations under the 844 education system in 2023. Further, the final secondary school class under the 844 education system will sit for the last Kenya Certificate of Secondary Education KCSE examinations in 2027, marking the end of an era for the 844 education system and paving way for the full implementation of the CBC. Honorable Speaker, it is estimated that over 9,000 pupils who did not sit for the final KCPE examination in 2023 and other preceding years due to various reasons, majority of whom being girls affected by early pregnancies, illness, and other unforeseen circumstances. These learners now stand the risk for never progressing to secondary education for not having the opportunity to sit for KCPE examination, which is no longer being administered. The same fate awaits students who may miss to sit for the last KCSE examination in 2027. While many of these learners remain interested in completing their education and sitting for both KCPE and KCSE examinations, others were and are still desirous of bettering their previous grades before the examination is totally discontinued from the education system. Further, the shift from the 844 examination system to the competency-based assessment system presents a significant challenge in terms of curriculum adaptation, teacher training, assessment development, and conversion of qualifications from the 844 to CBC. Honorable Speaker, it is against this background that I request for a statement from the chairperson of the Education Departmental Committee on Education on the following. Measures that the Ministry of Education and the NEC have put in place to accommodate the learners who missed their KCPE exams under the 844 system, the conversion criteria for KCPE qualifications to the CBC assessment for purpose of transitioning to senior secondary school, the equivalent of secondary school under 844, clarification on whether there are any special arrangements, provisions, or remedial opportunities for these learners to sit their KCPE and subsequently KCSE exams, and the strategies the ministry is implementing to ensure students wishing to retake KCPE or repeat the KCSE examination will be allowed to do so until 2027, including measures for ensuring that those who might miss the last KCSE examinations in 2027 are not disadvantaged for transition to university and college education. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. It was to which committee, Beatrice?
Committee on
Education. Chair Education, when can you respond? First week after recess?
Yes, thank you.
Thank
First,
you.
After recess, Mr. Speaker.
Member for Tarabach, Wajir. Member for Tarabach, Wachia. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I am making a request for a statement regarding the funding for construction of the Wajir Tarbaj Kutulo Road. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 44-2C, I rise to request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Transport and Infrastructure regarding funding for the construction of Wajir Tarbaj Kotulo Road. Honorable Speaker, the Wajir Tarbaj Kotulo Road, which traverses Tarbaj constituency is part of the Horn of Africa Gateway Development Project supported by the World Bank with the aim of improving connectivity between Kenya and other Eastern and Southern African countries. The project is expected to improve the movement of people, goods, and services across the region. Additionally, the project will improve digital connectivity and access to social services by communities in the designated locations along the targeted sections. Honorable Speaker, the construction of the said road in two parts, being the Wajir Tarbaj Road, which is Lot 1, and Tarbaj Kutulo Road, which is Lot 2, was advertised under tender number Kenya 2506/2022 and Kenya /2507/2022, respectively, heralding the hope that this largely marginalized region will finally benefit from the improved connectivity. Although construction of the road commenced, completion of the project is now facing uncertainty due to financing challenges. Reports indicate that the National Treasury did not provide funds for the construction and completion of Tarbaj Kutulo Road in the 2025-26 financial year. This has raised the fears of the project facing threat of termination due to lack of funds. Honorable Speaker, it is against this background that I request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Transport Infrastructure on the following. One, a report on the implementation status for the Wajir Tarbaj Road, that is Lot 1, and Tarbaj Kutulo Road, that's Lot 2. project, detailing the financing plan, total cost, and the amount disbursed and paid to the contractors so far. Secondly, the clarification on whether or not the completion of the Tarbaj-Kotulo Road has been provided for in the financial year 2025-2026, specifying the budgeted amount. Number three, a report on the number of residents affected by the project in Tarbaj constituency, including their details and status of compensation. And fourthly, details of the corporate social responsibility initiatives earmarked for implementation under the Horn of Africa Gateway Development Project within Tarbaj constituency, the budgetary allocation, and the expected impact on the local communities. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Chair Rhodes. Yes, Major Bashir.
Honorable Speaker, I want to associate myself with the request for that statement because it's very, very important. Honorable Speaker, you know the Horn of Africa Gateway Road project that has also already been, work has started, but as we speak now, it's not only the section where the member of parliament has talked about, a number of sections, actually the contractors have sort of downed their tools because funding or budget has not been factored in. Honorable Speaker, remember, this is a project where His Excellency has pronounced himself to the fact that it must be done and completed by end of 2027. However, as it is now, it looks like it's going into headwinds. And this might affect the promise that has been made to the people of Kenya and to the people of Northeastern specifically, that the road from Mandera all the way to Madogashe in Isiolo will be tarmacked. Honorable Speaker, we want this matter to be taken with the seriousness it deserves so that we want an answer as soon as possible. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Rhodes. Chair Rhodes. Any member of Rhodes Committee? Oh, yes. Pardon? It doesn't matter. You take your seat. I was asking for the Chair Rhodes. A clerk inform the Rhodes Committee to bring a response the first week after recess. Honorable Tubi, I thought you were trying to alert me to give you an opportunity to request for your statement.
Yes, sure.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Although I wanted to talk about that one.
Just go to your statement.
Because it starts from my county. The whole road, Horn of Africa starts from, and it has stopped. Anyway, thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm also boarding that horse when it comes. Mr. Speaker, sir, I am standing to request for a statement regarding insecurity in Isiolo County. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 442C, I wish to request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Administration and Internal Security regarding insecurity in Isiolo County. Honorable Speaker, there have been reported cases of insecurity in Isiolo County allegedly by persons sponsored by the governor of Isiolo County. This has caused havoc to residents, including the members of the County Assembly of Isiolo. For instance, on June 25, 2025, the said group of assailants attempted to illegally invade the County Assembly during its sitting while debating on a motion on impeachment of the governor, resulting in destruction of properties and injury to persons. These security concerns that have deeply unsettled the residents of Isiolo County. In addition, on 10th June 2025, the said group of assailants invaded Isiolo County Assembly, vandalized the assembly chamber caused members of the county assembly to flee for their safety. This state of affairs has created fear amongst residents and the general population. Additionally, the actions have negatively affected the economy of the residents. Honorable Speaker, it is against this background that I request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Administration and Internal Security on the following. 1, a status report on the assessment of insecurity cases recorded in Isiolo County in the month of June, last month. 2, immediate measures that the government is putting in place to address the recent surge in insecurity in Isiolo Council arising from whatever the activities of the county assembly. 3, measures being put in place to ensure that the safety of residents, including members of the county assembly, is guaranteed. And Mr. Speaker, while I thank you for that, right now we are having 2 speakers of the county assembly in Isiolo.
Honorable Truby.
Yes.
When you request for a statement, you only read what the speaker approved.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I finished.
Thank you. It was to which committee? Security. Where is Tongoyo? Any member of Security Committee? Caroline, you are a member of Security? You tell your chair to bring a response first week after recess.
Thank you, Chair. I will communicate.
I'm the speaker, not the chair.
Thank you.
Of the House. Thank you. Omanyo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Request for a statement on the operationalization of administrative units in Busia County. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 44, 2, Section C, I rise to request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Administration and Internal Security regarding inconsistencies in the operationalization of administrative units gazetted within Busia County. Honorable Speaker, the national government gazetted new divisions, locations and sublocations in Busia County as part of measures to enhance equitable access to government services and coordination of national government administration. However, the administrative units have been inconsistently and selectively operationalized in Teso sub-county, leaving out those within Busia County, Busia sub-county. They include Buhayo West Division, Mundika, Bugengi, Esikulu, Lunga, Buyosi, Murende, and Nasira locations, and Hungungu, Mundulusia, Budokomi, Munongo, Bukalama, Mujuru, Indoli, Sihabwa, Burumba, Bulanda, Mabale, Madele, Namikoye, Siamahanga, Nyibura, and Sikoma sublocations. Honorable Speaker, the inconsistencies in operationalization of administrative units in 2 sub-counties within Busia County disadvantages the residents of Buhayo sub-county in the access to critical government services, including security and recruitment opportunities such as teachers, police officers, and Kenya Defense Forces officers. Honorable Speaker, it is against this background that I request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee and Administration and Internal Security on 1, a report on the status of operationalization of the above-mentioned administrative units in Busia sub-county to improve service delivery, address security concerns, and enhance equitable access to opportunities dependent on administrative units. 2, a report on the reasons for the delay in operationalization the gazetted administrative units in Busia sub-county including the circumstances under which the administrative units in Busia sub-county were left out in the operationalization of units in Teso sub-county, and 3, measures being taken to operationalize the gazetted administrative units in Busia sub-county and the timeline for their activation. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
You are done? Yes, Odanga. Yes, give Odanga the mic.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I want to thank Honorable Omanga for coming up with this issue of seeking a statement. Indeed, these administrative units were gazetted in the year 2017, and it has taken so long for the government to operationalize. Last December, I did write and went to the Office of Interior, and we were promised that the division, particularly Buhaya West, and the sub-locations and locations were going to be operationalized. I believe that with this statement, the ministry will move with speed to ensure that they are operationalized for purposes of bringing services closer to the people. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Yes, Chair Security, Ngalechei, can you bring a response within the first week?
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
After recess?
Yes, I'll convey the message to the chair.
Thank you. Wamrada.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. A request for statement regarding challenges facing the Kiambu National Polytechnic. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the provision of Standing Order 44, Section 2C, I wish to request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee of Education on measures taken to resolve the challenge facing the Kiambu National Polytechnic, formerly known as Kiambu Institute of Science and Technology, and popularly known as KIST. Honorable Speaker, Kiambu National Polytechnic, formerly known as Kiambu Institute of Science and Technology, is a national TVET institution established in 1973 and fully accredited by the Technical and Vocational Education and Training Authority to offer diploma, craft, and artisan courses. The Polytechnic has a student population of 9,528 trainees. Despite its vital role, the institution faces various operational challenges, including a severe staffing shortfall, notably based on TVETA recommended student instructor ratios of 1:15 for practical classes, 1:30 for theory, and 1:10 for high-risk workshop. Kiambu National Polytechnic requires at least 550 trainers. However, the Public Service Commission has provided only 163 trainers. And due to this shortage, the Polytechnic has had to hire 160 additional trainers using the internally generated funds, thereby diverting resources meant for the infrastructure and equipment to payment of trainers, with employment projected to hit 12,000 by September 2025, and an additional 400 trainers will be needed. Additionally, Honorable Speaker, there are serious delays in the disbursement of government funding in the learning institution. And out of the 30,000 per student capitation to the Polytechnic learners, only 13,000 has been released in the financial year 2024-2025. The Polytechnic also has a severe shortage of hostels, laboratories, classrooms, and training equipment. Honorable Speaker, it is against this background that I seek a statement from the chairperson of the Department Committee of Education on the following. Number one, a report on steps being taken to recruit at least 400 additional trainers for KINAP ahead of the September 2025 intake. Number 2, reasons for the delay of the disbursement of capitation and measures put in place to expedite and release HELB loans and scholarship to the students in the Polytechnic. Number 3, the progress made implementing the 1,240 students accommodation units under the AHP to ensure availability of adequate accommodation in the institute and in the institution. And finally, number 4, the plans by the Ministry of Education to fund and equip the specialized technical departments in the institution. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Amrala. Chair Education. Any member of Education Committee? Clerk, you notify the committee to bring a response within the first week on resumption. I think those are the only members who had requested for statements. A response to a statement. Molo, are you ready for Wangari's response?
Yes, Honorable Speaker, on the 16th of April of 2025, the Honorable Member for Gilgil, the Honorable Martha Wangari, CBS, sought a statement from the Committee of Finance and National Planning on the status of the Aviator Game of Chances. In particular, the Honorable Member sought the following questions. 1, the legal status of registration of the Aviator Game of Chance in Kenya. 2, how much revenue the country got in terms of taxes from betting and gaming activities in the country. 3, statistics on how much Kenyans spend per year on betting and gaming. 4, the steps being taken by the Betting Control and Licensing Board to control the proliferation of all manner of advertisements on audio, video, and print media relating to Aviator gaming. 5, criteria and regulations used by BCLB to authorize and regulate the Aviator games of chance in the country. And lastly, a list together with the license numbers and dates of firms, including media stations, authorized to conduct games of chance in the country. And again, lastly, a list of the Betting and Control Licensing Board of ongoing and concluding disciplinary cases taken against errant betting and gaming firms and media stations in the country for the last 1 year. Honorable Speaker, due to the busy schedule that the committee has had during now the preparation of the budget process, we did conduct the first meeting with the Kenya Revenue Authority. They gave us the first preliminary report on Thursday, the 3rd of June. However, there are still pending discussions, Honorable Speaker, by especially the Betting Control and Licensing Board, because the Betting Control and Licensing Board is the one that is mandated by law to license, monitor, deregister, or suspend any operations in case of a need-to-day basis. This CLB, as you know, Honorable Speaker, is established by Section 3.1 of the Betting, Lotteries and Gaming Act, Cap 131 of 1966. Honorable Speaker, betting and gaming fall into 3 categories. Namely, we have what we call the sports book, casinos, and lotteries. Casinos are again subdivided into online casinos, which include Aviator, Jackpot, and other virtual games, and land-based casinos, including slot and table games. Sportsbook betting is a form of gambling that involves wagering on sports such as golf, football, basketball, baseball, ice hockey, horse racing, boxing, and mixed martial arts. The public gaming, commonly known as casinos, consists of online gaming and land-based casinos. The games include, including Aviator and Jackpot, and other crash games. Crash games, visual games, table games like blackjack, poker, and roulette. We have other games like slot games, etc. The lotteries are a form of gaming conducted by registered institutions to raise funds for charitable purposes under Section 36 of the BLC Act, and are done by buying raffles or lottery tickets, and draws are conducted to determine the winners. I think we are all, probably all of us participated in them in our church harambes since we were little. The taxation that exists on this particular aviator and jackpot gaming is we have a 5% excess duty on all deposit or stakes placed by punters. The tax is collected at the point of deposit. The tax is deducted at source in real time. But Honorable Speaker, you'll note that the amendments that were done by the laws that were passed by this House through the Finance Act now has now changed the way this excess duty is taxed, so that now it's taxed when you deposit into the wallet of the betting company and not when you place a bet. In addition, there's a 20% withholding tax that applied for all gambling winnings. This applies to gross winnings from betting, lotteries, gaming, and prize competition. And this tax, again, is deducted at source in real time. We have also 15% gaming tax that is levied on gross gaming revenue. Gross gaming revenue is defined as a gross revenue turnover minus the amount paid out to customers as winnings. This tax applies to betting, lotteries, gaming, and prize competition as calculated and remitted monthly by the license operators. So this is where the gaming company will subtract how much people bet and how much they paid as winnings, and then now apply 15% as gaming tax on that gross revenue. And lastly, there is 30% corporation tax that is paid on all resident companies, but this 30% corporation tax, of course, is allowed for tax deductible expenses. Honorable Speaker, the aviator and jackpot games of chances as classified as digital games of chance under the BLGA, and its taxation is aligned with the taxation regimes for the other betting and gaming activities, which include excess duty, withholding income tax on winnings, betting gaming tax, and corporation income tax. So these, Honorable Speaker, there are around 346 betting and gaming companies operating in Kenya, which employ approximately 4,217 Kenyans. These companies also play various roles. They pay PAYE, they pay VAT, withholding VAT, corporation tax, withholding income tax, excess duty on betting and gaming tax, monthly rental income tax, and withholding income tax, NITA, and also the affordable housing levy. Honorable Speaker, as per the financial year 23-24, betting and gaming paid a total of 23.6 billion shillings in terms of taxes, while in the 3 quarters of financial year 24-25, this sector has remitted a total of 26.28 billion in terms of taxes. So it actually means that for the first 3 quarters, the collection of taxes is 3 billion shillings more than how much was collected in the previous full year. These tax levels are expected to double in 25-26 because of the reforms that have been made by the Finance and National Planning Committee through the Finance Act of 2025 on taxing deposits and withdrawals. This will now touch the tax cheats that were not on the tax law, especially for betting for entities outside the country. These reforms are expected to promote responsible gambling in Kenya, and the following are individual tax shield from now different gaming heads. For Sportbook, it was 4.22 billion shillings. Casinos contributed 2.43 billion shillings, and lotteries contributed the lowest, which is 7 million shillings. Sportbook and casinos, 17.4 billion. Sportsbook and lotteries, 7.9 billion. Sportsbooks, casinos, and lotteries, 2.08 billion. And others, which are referred to as general activities, 218 million shillings. So, Honorable Speaker, the aviator and the jackpot games are part of online casino, and tax revenue collected from this of gambling is inclusive in casino taxes, which contributed 8.28 of all the gross revenue paid, which amounts to around 1.968 billion shillings. Honorable Speaker, these games of chances are a new product in the market and yield substantial absolute tax revenue collections, in as much as the proportionate contribution is comparatively small in addition to the more established games. With optional regulation for responsible gambling, the revenue contribution is likely to increase. Honorable Speaker, the Finance Act of 2023 introduced an excess duty of 15% on advertisement charged for betting, gaming, and lotteries and prize competition on television, print media, billboards, and radio stations with effect from 1st of July 2023. Furthermore, in the Tax Laws Amendment Bill, now Amendment Act of 2024, the scope of the media advertisement now was expanded to include internet and social media. The committee is scheduled to meet with the Betting Control and Licensing Board during the short recess to address the remaining pertinent issues and outstanding matters that shall appraise the House immediately upon resumption from the recess. So the outstanding matters, Honourable Speaker, remains the following: one, the legal status of the aviator and jackpot games of chances in Kenya, the steps being undertaken by Betting Control and Licensing Board to control the publication of all manner of advertisements on audio, visual, and print media relating to aviator game, the criteria and regulations used by BCLB to authorize and regulate these games of chances, and then a list together with the license numbers and dates of the firms, media houses, and other authorized media that conduct the games of chance in this country, and lastly a list of from the Betting Control and Licensing Board of ongoing and concluding disciplinary cases against errant betting and gaming firms and media stations in the country for the last 1 year. So, Honourable Speaker, this is just a preliminary report. The best feedback we're going to get is from the Betting Control and Licensing Board. However, it is important to mention, to inform this House that after this matter was raised in the House, the Betting Control and Licensing Board stopped or banned all manner of advertising for these games on our local stations, on media, internet, and social, Honourable Speaker. And I think maybe that is a step in the right direction to reduce this particular addiction. And Honourable Speaker, perhaps when this discussion came up, we had a lot of views from the members of the public about not just these particular games of chances, but, Honourable Speaker, betting, we call them prize control games that are played especially in our vernacular radio stations. So, Honourable Speaker, if you listened to any of the vernacular radio stations, whether it is the morning or in the afternoon or in the evening, our grandparents are being told to stake a particular amount to buy a motorcycle at 100 shillings. And Honourable Speaker, it's imperative how much people are putting on this price control, what's called price betting, Honourable Speaker. And now that's one of the other matters that we hope we could expand in our scope as given to us by this Honourable House, that we need to, in as much as betting is not an illegal activity in Kenya, it is important that it being an extremely addictive activity, it be controlled so that we make sure that the matters that we hear about people committing suicide, others killing each other because of this particular betting behaviors, Honourable Speaker, is controlled. So I know, Honourable Speaker, it is not a satisfactory statement, it's just a preliminary statement because also the Honourable Member has been very patient and has been raising this concern almost every day. And so once now we come back from the short recess, we anticipate, we will focus and purpose to have a comprehensive statement on the same. I thank you, Honourable Speaker.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I also want to appreciate the chair. I know it's also been a very busy time, as you had indicated last week, and I have been very patient on this statement. I appreciate the preliminary statement and also appreciate that he has committed that he'll still meet with BCLB. Maybe what I would add for now, Mr. Speaker, because I will wait for the comprehensive statement, is the issue that when this matter was raised on this floor, it was the advert on the radios reduced substantially because there was some directive on advertisement. My question would be, was it just a knee-jerk reaction or will it creep back? Was it by policy? Does it need a law? Maybe this is something they can, the committee can explore when they meet BCLB so that we are able to tame. Because, Mr. Speaker, you know, many casinos don't advertise. Yes. They don't need to. There are people who know where the casinos are, they will go. But these adverts on Aviator and these other games on the phone, where we have parents putting 50 shillings, putting 30 shillings, we have children gambling their money for school, we have families breaking, and even other people committing suicide, Mr. Speaker. So this is where the problem is, the macro and the small scale gambling that we are seeing in our radio stations, especially vernacular. And I say that because I've followed the Kikuyu vernacular stations. In fact, even a song cannot end, 3 minutes of a song, Mr. Speaker, without an advert for gambling, and especially this Aviator. So I hope the committee can go to the bottom of it so that we have a position legally on policy and the advertisement on radio, on media, on the internet, so that we can protect our population, Mr. Speaker. I hope that the committee will give the substantial statement when we come back. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Mboko Milemba Mwalimu.
Thank you. And Honorable Wangari raised his statement, I got interested in this matter, and later on, I realized that the so-called aviator and other methodologies of gambling are all over houses. And aviator is very well known by both kids and even the mamas in the village, and it's really riding high. And later on, when I talked to the teachers recently in Mombasa, they told me that most of even our teachers are now suffering seriously, because some of them even end up committing suicide because of gambling, especially the aviator and other gambling methodologies. So therefore, I think the chair should not just concentrate on the taxes as he has done, though the question indeed asks about the taxes they are paying. But indeed, I think the asking of the question in relation to the taxes was supposed to bring out that what's the benefit of this as opposed to what also we are receiving as a country. And I think there's need for serious control when the committee sits to get a proper statement to actually limit the number of times these advertisements are done and how it's done, especially in the vernacular languages. This is killing the society. We lost a teacher in Nanyuki who committed suicide because he took a loan and then took it to betting and then lost all the money, was also my official, and it's not doing us any good. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
And when you bring your comprehensive statement, you can address all those. Honorable members, allow me to acknowledge Ngoto Boys High School from Makueni County in the public gallery. On my behalf, on behalf of the House, I welcome them to Parliament. Thank you. Next order. Yes, Mwalimu.
I'm sorry to, Speaker, to interrupt. I had seen the chair of health in the House. Honorable Speaker, the President did pronounce himself on SHA, especially on the registration of SHA. In terms of, are you able to register for 1 month and then continuously so until the year ends, or must you register the whole year? And in my own constituency, SHA was now doing very well. I had a case where we had a child in Msiri High School who was treated in hospital, and SHA paid for us over 69,000 shillings. It made me, Honorable Speaker, to go ahead and help in registration of SHA by providing the data that they're required to have. But then, that pronouncement by the President, and also I wish the chair was here, has not been effected. When they are registering members, people, citizens into SHA, the system is not accepting 1 month registration. So that after 1 month, they again register for another month and another month, the way we used to do it during the NHIF. This will really promote registration, also encourage more people to register, and also avail more people to be within the system, because the local communities don't have that money, the entire money of 12 months. So this is something that I thought the chair could at least work on during this recess. He sits with the minister and other authorities related and concerned in that area so that they can bring back the registration of SHA on monthly basis. Kenyans are waiting for it. You talk about it anywhere, they will actually say, we want that to come back so that we can join SHA. That was my point of order, Honorable Speaker, and I want to thank you.
Member for Molo.
Honorable Speaker, I'd like to add my voice on this particular matter. This social health insurance is a game changer in our health sector, but it's likely to increase the gap between those people that have access to free medical care and those who don't, what we are calling universal health coverage. Because asking now new entrants to pay a whole year of fees is becoming a tall order with most of the population. So I really urge the committee to have a discussion with the ministry and tighten now that all the loopholes for all those people who are claiming fictitious SHA payments seem to have been sealed, and now to revert back to at least a month of payment and have someone be able to access medical insurance, even 1 month of registration, because the requirement for 1 year is becoming too long and actually quite a heavy burden to Kenyans. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Is there anybody? Yes, Wangwe.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, on this issue of SHA, there happens to be an issue of when the contributant is unwell, admitted to hospital, and at what stage is he now going to pay for SHA? Honorable Speaker, the future seems to be stretching, such that for the government to plan well, here comes a situation where a patient is admitted today, he comes in today, and now subscribes to a whole year's payment today. What happens to the concept of planning? What happens to how is going to pay, how the government is going to fill the gap? Therefore, Honorable Speaker, I feel the committee should review, look at it in holistically and advise on how well are we going to look at the issue that payment should be somehow consistent but not instant, as into when you fall sick today and you go for admission and you pay. Honorable Speaker, a case in time is a situation where we need to pay for CT scan, for example. Because it's expensive, I now move in and pay the 7,000 today. How about if X number of people pay today that amount? It means the drawback is going to be expensive to the government. So what I feel, Honorable Speaker, is let's have a substitute move and look at it holistically and plan. Actuaries should come up with a formula to help SHA plan on how to mitigate such a situation, Honorable Speaker. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Member of Health Committee. Yes, Odanga.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Indeed, Honorable Speaker, in the beginning, SHA had a lot of issues of registration, people accessing, and people even accessing the healthcare services. But today, moving around the countryside, you will find that many people who are members of SHA are now accessing the services more than before. And we need to really strengthen this. I want to agree with the Honorable Mboko and the Honorable Wangwe that the instant payment should be stopped so that we pay monthly, the way we used to do in NHIF. It will become easier and more attractive to our people. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Pasaris, you're a member of the committee. Go ahead.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I want to lend my voice to the conversation that's going on SHA. I think in the beginning, when we used to have NHIF, you had to have a 3-month waiting period before it could be utilized. But with SHA, we said that anybody who walks into a hospital, whether you're registered or not, you will have access to universal health care. Honorable Speaker, just recently we had a street lady who was pregnant, and I met her, and I tried to get her an ID so I could register her for SHA. But unfortunately, the ID has not come out yet, and she ended up having an emergency cesarean. But the hospital, Pumwani, actually took her through the social services department, realized that she was a street girl, and then eventually just let her off. But the fact remains that even us right now as parliamentarians, we're paying our SHA deductions every month. If the parliament were going to be asked today to pay 1 year upfront, it would be almost an impossibility. So the fact is, we need to make sure that we market SHA to the communities. We make them understand that SHA will get stronger and be better able to serve if we pay. People normally pay when they're sick or when they're admitted. That weakens the whole structure of universal healthcare. Even India struggles with universal healthcare in spite of having cheap medical, lots of hospital facilities, and a population that is actually huge to serve. What we need to do with SHA is do a lot of marketing, do a lot of recruitment. We need to make sure that people understand. And then the people out there, if you can afford 1,000, or you've been assessed to be able to pay 1,000 premium or 2,000 premium, you have to pay the rate that is given to you based on the assessment. If your assessment has been done wrong, go and have it queried. The fact is, if we want this country to be able to offer universal health care, we need to be able to pay the premiums. So let's not wait until we are sick. And I think that message has to be taken to the communities, taken to the various institutions, taken as well to the grassroots, because people join SHA when they are sick. People join SHA when they get admitted. So SHA will actually collapse if we continue that way. So the idea is for us to make sure that our house help are, even if they're not formally employed, we pay SHA for them. Everybody has a moral responsibility to make sure that the people that they know are have signed up to SHA. And recently I had a friend of mine who said to me, you know, I've got a gardener and a watchman and they want to sign up for SHA. How do I go about it? This shows us that the Ministry of Health is not doing enough. The easy way is to say, let people pay 1 year premium. No, make us see your advertisement. Advertise SHA and the benefits. You keep telling us it's working, but show us the benefits of SHA and the advertising. Use your online, use online and make sure that everybody gets to understand that we need to sign up for SHA, we need to pay SHA. But asking people to pay 1 year upfront because you're not doing your marketing well, I think that's it's wrong. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Any member of Health Committee? Rindagiri, you want also to joyride?
I just want to joyride. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I think SHA, from what I'm gathering from our great people, Bori, it is coming out very well. SHA is functioning, and SHA is really taking care of those who have been admitted, seeking medical attention. Mr. Speaker, the only problem is accessibility for some people, particularly in the rural areas. What we are trying to do as a community is civic education. But Mr. Speaker, the members of parliament or MCAs cannot do entirely the public enlightenment. It is very important that the Ministry of Health takes up the responsibility and first inducts particularly the local administration, the area managers, the sub-chiefs, the chiefs, and even ECC and some DCCs, who even themselves, being the government agents, are not able to explain the functionalities of SHA. Mr. Speaker, you go some areas they have never known about it. All what people are taking advantage is social media. But all you know, particularly in my constituency, people are coming to appreciate the good part of SHA. But Mr. Speaker, I don't know how the operation of SHA was or made it that the premium payable need to be paid per year. Mr. Speaker, not everybody can afford paying the premium per year. My rural constituency, Mr. Speaker, there are low seasons of harvest and there are high seasons. Even those who are employed, Mr. Speaker, cannot afford to pay. Mr. Speaker, you go and find that there is assessment that is being done, particularly on those ones who are being admitted. Once that assessment is done, there are those ones who are assessed at 300 shillings per month, but you are told to pay per year. There are those ones who are assessed 500 shillings per month, but you are forced to pay per year. There are those ones who are being assessed 1,000 per month, and they are forced to pay for 12 months. First and foremost, Mr. Speaker, that criteria of determining the amount that needs to be paid.
That is beyond joyriding.
Mr. Speaker, I hear you. It's just expressing what is really happening there, because I'm sure many people are listening to us, and this is the only place where we represent the feelings of our people. And the people, Mr. Speaker, they are really watching how you, specifically, Mr. Speaker, you are navigating through ensuring that this universal health care becomes a reality in this country. So you are presenting over this house, and this is the only house that will ensure this success of this of SHA. So, Mr. Speaker, I'm not only joyriding, but I'm really enhancing the authority of this house in supporting the government initiate the proper process of making sure that so many people join and the expense of joining. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Clerk, you'll advise Committee on Health to bring the response to Milemba within the first week after recess. Next order.
Order number 13, motion, consideration of the performance audit report on the provision of services to persons with disabilities by the National Council for Persons with Disabilities.
Emmanuel Wangwedas, your committee?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that this House adopts the report of the Public Investments Committee on Social Services, Administration and Agriculture on its consideration of the performance audit report by the Auditor General on the provision of services to the persons with disabilities in the National Council for Persons with Disabilities, laid on the table of the House on Tuesday, 30th July, 2024. Honorable Speaker, allow me to begin by asking ourselves on what is this we call performance audit report. Honorable Speaker, performance audit report is a self-moved report by the Auditor General pursuant to Section 36 of the Public Audit Act, particularly Cap 412B, which provides in verbatim that the Auditor General shall conduct performance audit to examine the economy, efficiency, and effectiveness with which public money has been expended pursuant to Article 229 of the Constitution. Honorable Speaker, many of my colleagues in this House will expect that when PIC presents a report, it presents a report looking at numbers that have been audited from a particular entity, so that we consider and see whether efficiency, prudency, effectiveness of the expending has been done. But on this one, Honorable Speaker, this is a motion by the Auditor General herself to understand what is it that is happening in the Council for Persons with Disabilities. Honorable Speaker, the report was tabled in July 2024, but thank God, after that, Honorable Speaker, in May last month, 2025, we passed in this House the Persons with Disabilities Act, which ended up correcting so many of the observations that were done by the Auditor General in this report. Honorable Speaker, the Auditor, having moved on her own motion to understand what is happening in the Council for Persons with Disabilities, there are several issues that were raised, which came up and which made the Auditor General to feel that the Council would be not moving in the right direction or not attaining the threshold that is required, Honorable Speaker. The various issues I would want to enumerate here, Honorable Speaker, forms part of the concerns that struck the eye of the Auditor General, prompting her now to move in and start the audit to submit the report to the House. One, Honorable Speaker, there are issues of delay. There were issues of delay in the registration of persons with disabilities. Honorable Speaker, persons with disabilities are subjected to various forms of delay to register. And the only way, Honorable Speaker, to recognize somebody that he or she is a person living with a disability is the registration. And Honorable Speaker, you find that registration of persons with disabilities is such a tedious exercise that it's not you and I that has to undertake the registration. It is so classified that the Director of Medical Services is the approved entity to list or to enumerate who is this person that is living with disability. Honorable Speaker, where do you get this service, and who is this Director of Medical Services that is all round to find that he provides the registration of persons with disabilities? You end up finding, Honorable Speaker, that the backlog of unsigned disability assessment forms continue to be experienced in the country, in the county level offices. Honorable Speaker, it is not easy. We only have maybe about 6 medical officers who are eligible to enumerate the persons with disabilities. So what happens to the rest of the persons with disabilities? A number of counties have made disability assessment free of charge, yes. while others continue to charge between 200 to 1,500 for you to be registered. Honorable Speaker, this is statistics for the audit that was carried between 2013 and 2020, when the Auditor General, on her own motion, moved in to find out what is happening in the Council for Persons with Disabilities. The problem is compounded, Honorable Speaker, where assessed persons is seeking tax exemption by Kenya Revenue Authority because he or she has to travel to far away centers where KRA assessments are periodically conducted. Those are issues, Honorable Speaker, that move a person to be now registered. And Honorable Speaker, it is such a tedious exercise that is going on in the council, and if it's not checked, it now keeps on compounding the various persons living with disabilities not to enjoy the services. Honorable Speaker, the other issue that came up to the attention of the Auditor General is the cash transfer program that has not substantially improved the livelihood of persons with disabilities. Honorable Speaker, when you audit the cash transfer program from the social protection perspective, there is so much that is moving into that program. But, Honorable Speaker, from the eye of the Auditor General, has this improved lives of persons living with disabilities? Honorable Speaker, there are quite a number of observations that came up on that, with that question. The mode of paying has improved over time and moved from manual to card-based, then to current electronic platform, which is individual and account-based, which addresses challenges previously experienced by the beneficiaries. Yes, it has enabled to access those who are registered. How about those who are not registered, Honorable Speaker? That is now the challenge that comes about with that cash transfer, meaning, Honorable Speaker, it is sectarian. A few are getting and the majority are not because of not being registered. The cash transfer program, Honorable Speaker, has also experienced delays in disbursement of funds due to delay in release of exchequer from the National Treasury. Honorable Speaker, these people, persons living with disability, depend entirely on that cash transfer program. So the moment the exchequer is delayed, they are also stuck in their daily activities and they are unable to move because that is their only income that they have. The Social Assistance Unit, Honorable Speaker, over time has not reviewed the amount of cash transfer periodically as documented in the Consolidated Cash Transfer Program Manual. Honorable Speaker, you and I have always known that the cash transfer program is 2,000. For as long as it has been there, it has never been improved, it has never increased, but Honorable Speaker, you'll agree that life has changed, the cost of living has changed, and inflation has also moved. In as much as, Honorable Speaker, today inflation has come down, but over time it has been fluctuating. Honorable Speaker, the other issue that caught the eye of the Auditor General is the Economic Empowerment Program, which has not improved the economic status of persons with disabilities. What is this we are talking about, Economic Empowerment Program, Honorable Speaker? The amount granted to each group, you find, Honorable Speaker, various groups of persons with disabilities are put together to submit their proposals, and they get empowerment programs. The amount, Honorable Speaker, granted to each of the groups was not adequate to start viable projects. Marketing was a challenge, and the group would disintegrate due to disagreement among the members. Honorable Speaker, whereas government has tried to consolidate these persons with the disabilities together by empowering the various groups, the question is, Honorable Speaker, is the money they are getting good enough to enable them to start a business? You find, Honorable Speaker, the allocations to these groups is so small, so minimal, that it only creates disagreement when the members of that group gets together, and instead now they go each one of them separate way, so they are not able to move and make any impact or meaningful progress out of that grant from the government. Honorable Speaker, not every spade is a spade. At times it becomes a big spoon. Not everyone who is disabled is an albinism. We have different categories of disability. I want to address, Honorable Speaker, a challenge that also got the eye of the Auditor General. The Albinism Support Program, which has not adequately also, Honorable Speaker, addressed skin care requirements of persons with albinism. Honorable Speaker, the key issue affecting persons with albinism is the skin care. Their skin is susceptible to infections. So the moment you support their skin protective issues, that is the way to address persons with albinism. And Honorable Speaker, how I wish my good friend, the investor was around, he would support this idea or this suggestion by the Auditor General. And what was the observation, Honorable Speaker, that got the auditor's eye? Screening for skin cancer for the persons with albinism has not been done as expected. Her finding, Honorable Speaker, goes on to say that this was attributed to non-functional serotherapy machines in some instances, lack of necessary training on the use of machines, and lack of awareness on the need for skin cancer screening by persons with albinism. Honorable Speaker, that's a very critical issue that got the auditor's eye for her to be able to sum up and give it to us. What did also did she observe? That persons with albinism, Honorable Speaker, have been unable to collect the skincare items due to the challenge of proximity to the collection centers. These are specialized kind of service, Honorable Speaker, and it's not found in Navajo. My person from Navajo has to travel to Kakamega or even to Nairobi to access this kind of skincare facility, Honorable Speaker. The Auditor General also feels the Council has not enlightened the persons with albinism about the provision of the skincare items. Also, Honorable Speaker, some of our patients or persons living with albinism, they don't know that these items can be provided for by the government. So the Auditor General has brought it to the attention that it's important the Council of Persons Living with Disability makes it good to get to the bottom, lowest person, Honorable Speaker, to know that government can provide. And Honorable Speaker, finally, the Auditor General talks about the skincare items sometimes expire at the hospitals due to non-collection of the lotions by persons with albinism. Honorable Speaker, some areas are advantaged. Those who are with proximity to Nairobi, they access the medicine faster. How about, Honorable Speaker, anybody with albinism from Wajir, from Mandera, from Turkana, from Navajo, Honorable Speaker, to come to Nairobi to acquire lotions to protect his or her skin? It's a challenge, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, the other issue that got the eye of the Auditor General was the issue on infrastructure and equipment support program, which has not adequately improved the status of institutions supporting learners with disabilities. Honorable Speaker, the government is putting into these programs, into these institutions, into our schools, what we call special schools, equipment to support programs to support learners with a kind of albinism disabilities. But Honorable Speaker, what happens to this? The Auditor General has sent 3 issues that happen, Honorable Speaker. She says that the National Council for Persons with Disability Infrastructure grants of 2 million shillings per institution has only benefited a small proportion of institutions out of the many deserving cases. Honorable Speaker, we are only talking of 2 million, could be per how many institutions a year. We pass this budget here, and when you look at it, Honorable Speaker, the institutions are overwhelming. It's a whole ocean in the country, but we get maybe 10 institutions in a year. So by the time we reach each and every corner of the institutions and the schools that we have, Honorable Speaker, yourself being a teacher, you can know how many schools are there in the whole country and at what pace are they dispersing the 2 million. And the question is the 2 million sufficient? Honorable Speaker, the second issue the Auditor General is observing is that the National Council of Persons with Disabilities, despite having budgetary ceiling to only approve projects whose budget does not exceed 2 million, went ahead and approved projects whose bill of quantity exceeded 2 million shillings. Honorable Speaker, disobedience. The accounting officer decides not to listen to the cabin, but he goes ahead maybe with other conditions in mind, such that maybe it could be the project is proximal to Nairobi or to whatever area, and he approves more than the ceiling. Honorable Speaker, the other final issue under this infrastructure the Auditor observes is that the Council has experienced shortage of funds due to reduction of the budget, greatly affecting the support to institutions for infrastructure development. Honorable Speaker, when the Minister for Finance or the Cabinet Secretary for Finance is overwhelmed and issues now budget cuts, one of the easiest places he runs to cut the budget is on this fund, Honorable Speaker, without looking and observing that persons with disability are greatly disadvantaged. and they need to be supported. He goes ahead and chops off a huge sum of funds that rather belongs to National Council of the Persons with Disabilities, disadvantaging, Honorable Speaker, any new institution that would benefit from the infrastructure fund of this organization. Honorable Speaker, the last issue that the auditor felt is important, this House, the second last, this House seizes off this matter, is the assistance devices program, which has not, Honorable Speaker, adequately addressed the needs of persons with disabilities. Honorable Speaker, this is a bit technical language, but put it in plain English. Items like crutches, wheel bicycles, items that help our brothers and sisters who are at disadvantage to move from point A to B. These are what we call assistive device program, devices, Honorable Speaker. The auditor has also made 3 observations under that program. And she says, the statement that National Council for Persons with Disabilities is implementing the Buy Kenya and Build Kenya initiative by procuring and issuing locally calibrated assistive devices that ensure better suitability and longevity, as well as appropriateness to the local terrains, as opposed to the imported devices may not work for some disability cases which require specialized equipment not locally manufactured. Honorable Speaker, the issue of Buy Kenya, Build Kenya, for that period when it was enforced, it also applied to this, such that, Honorable Speaker, you could only get the items that were being made with our brothers from Kikomba, our brothers from the light industrial areas in Kenya, so that, Honorable Speaker, how about those who had spine conditions, whose wheeling required some kind of technically assembled equipment, Honorable Speaker? That part disadvantaged our the program. And the second issue that the auditor observed was that the Council, Honorable Speaker, did not issue most of the persons with disabilities with the devices during the period they had applied for. Honorable Speaker, when you go to Westlands in the headquarters of the Council, you will get a list of those who are queued to get these devices, Honorable Speaker. They are not available. They are not. They cannot. They are not enough to fill the population, Honorable Speaker, that is living with disability. The third issue, Honorable Speaker, that the Auditor General has observed is that the Council, Honorable Speaker, did not collaborate the issuance of the applied for assistive devices to the professional medical assessment report prior to issuing the assistive device to the beneficiaries. Honorable Speaker, it is not just that a person wakes up and gets assistive devices. Assistive devices, Honorable Speaker, could be like lenses. You must get a doctor's prescription of what your eyes require. Then you go to the shop and procure the lenses, depending on how you've been assessed, Honorable Speaker. You find that there was no collaboration. According to the Auditor General, Honorable Speaker, the Council wakes up today and feels they need to procure enough bicycles. They have enough people to use. They buy those bicycles. But the question is, not all persons living with disabilities that require a bicycle have similar conditions. There are medical challenges, and a medical doctor needs to examine and advise the Council on what is it that's required to be used. Finally, Honorable Speaker, the last observation that the Auditor General moved was that the education assistance program did not enhance the retention and continuity of education for persons with disabilities. Honorable Speaker, despite the fact that the program was there, did it retain enough persons with disabilities in school? The answer is no. Did it support the improvement of persons with disabilities? The answer is, Honorable Speaker, we need to do more. More needs to be done so that we retain these people in school and enhance and move forward that persons with disabilities, Honorable Speaker, also get the right education. Honorable Speaker, I want to state a case in time in my constituency, Honorable Speaker. Myself, it comes a time when, Honorable Speaker, I had a sponsor who gave me enough bicycles for persons with disabilities. But, Honorable Speaker, you find that these people end up leaving some of those bicycles at home. They would want to walk with that kind of strain to go to the market. For what reason, you can't understand. A young person whom you have given a bicycle to use feels better not to use that bicycle when he's coming to see you, so that, Honorable Speaker, you sympathize with that person. The same, and support him for the instant small amount you give him that time. I feel the education program also faces the same challenge. That, Honorable Speaker, these persons did not seem to see that they want to be enlightened, to be educated, but instead they go into the school and again drop out on their own volition. So it has not achieved that much, a situation which, Honorable Speaker, all of us, the Auditor General is calling on all of us to support the council so that all those institutions that have been spent on by public funds must now be supported so that those funds, those institutions run to the reason as to why they were initiated. Therefore, Honorable Speaker, why did the Auditor General have to take trouble to ensure that she comes up with this report, which somehow looks obvious, but Honorable Speaker, it is not obvious. It is detailing what is happening in this institution, why we should now all as a house support this institution and raise it to another level, Honorable Speaker. It has the monitoring and evaluation position. It has the financial trajectory we need to look at it. It has the governance aspect that we need to look at it. As a House, Honorable Speaker, when we move and approve this report, in advance, Honorable Speaker, and on my opening remark was the institution has already adopted, the ministry has already moved the bill on persons with disability bill, and which we passed this House in May. Most of the recommendations, Honorable Speaker, in that bill align with this audit, which we tabled the report in July 2024. Meaning, Honorable Speaker, this House is the savior of the challenges that the Auditor General on her own motion has moved. So I want to seek that we approve this report and anything that is pending, particularly, Honorable Speaker, the bill which we passed, we need to ensure that the regulations thereon come into this House. And I want to invite my colleague in charge of Committee on Delegated Legislation to move fast and put in place the regulations that now implement the act that we passed in May 13th of this, into this House. So that the implementation part of this, the act, and in conjunction with the auditor's report that she has given us, detailing what is happening, where we need to cure, and what we need to do. What I've presented, Honorable Speaker, is just the summary. But when you look at the entire report and look at the auditor's audited report itself, it details what, once the report's adopted, what the council needs to do and by when is it supposed to implement, so that the council moves forward and effectively uses the public resources in an efficient way. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I beg to move and ask my colleague, the great lady from Busia, in another language she's called Mama Kipepeo, to second.
Who is Mama Kipepeo?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Honorable Manyo, proceed.
Wow. I second with a lot of, I think I'm a little bit emotional, but people living with disability and their caregivers should not be waiting for us to think about them, but we should be upfront in supporting them and thinking for them, because they are already socially isolated, marooned in their own way, in their own world, because many things that we have put across in our nation, we did not think ahead. If you went in a classroom, recently I had a county-wide registration of people living with disabilities, and some students were also part of it. They even don't have a locker that can encourage them sit comfortably and write just like any other child with no challenges. And also some of the classes, they were built long time ago, and because of poverty, they have not improved in areas or ramps that can help these children and any other person with a challenge of mobility. We must pull out all stops as a nation, because they are already disadvantaged. Giving a person living with disability 2,000 a month, and we have others with albinism who need sunscreen, and a good sunscreen, Mr. Speaker, costs 1,000 and above. So if they wait for 2,000 a month, what else will they do with the little remaining? Because again, they have to add a moisturizer, and a good one, not these cheap ones that still make them burn, look dark red and cracked skin. A good moisturizer that has a SPF in it and can help them not crack and attract houseflies on them. I will be so stoked if people living with disability and their caregivers are paid good, reasonable money. The cash transfer of 2,000, Mr. Speaker, if we gave them even talk of the minimum wage, maybe 16,000 or 25,000, that will also curb a lot of money that is just wasted in other things. It will curb a lot of corruption as well, because most of it will be going to the right people, the needy people, our families and friends. I did a county-wide registration as well, and I hired buses and matatus and pickups to bring them in a particular place in the county. Shockingly enough, some of them could not be put inside a matatu or a bus. And if they managed to squeeze them in there, the buses or matatus did not have a special area carved out for people living with a disability. You can imagine how even us, with all the knowledge we have, we are ignorant when we buy some of these equipments. So people living with disabilities need professional, these counselors, professional counselors also who can help them, because when we sat there the whole day, most of them, even coming to the meeting, did not even look happy. They looked like they are already stressed, and they had so much to tell us, but I'm not a professional, so I didn't know what to do but to help by registering them. And most of them have never, or they have been ignored, because many things that come to us, people who can easily run left, right, and get, they hardly reach to get also part of our cake of the nation. So the registration is paramount. We have to go door to door through our Nyumba Kumi, village elders. They know well where everybody is who has challenges. Some of the children with the disability have been hidden. And they have been hidden because we are not civilized enough, have not gone to school properly. We are still in our cocoons of beliefs that if a woman or a family has a person living with disability, there might be a curse there. So some of the families hide these children. They have not taken them to school. So if we do door to door and get them all, from zero age, hata kama amezaliwa leo, we need them to be registered, and from there, the caregivers to be given proper equipment as well, because some caregivers have the knowledge but don't have the equipment. Some of them don't have even the knowledge, but they have the heart to help. With the motivation, they will do better. So our health sector should put more money there also to make sure that even dispensaries in the villages should have a proper wing for people living with disability and a person who is qualified to handle them. Also, the caregivers who help out, they face physical exhaustion and they hardly sleep. They are deprived. So if already they have these challenges, motivation is zero. And maybe some of them even don't get this money, because if you ask most of them, some get, and if they get, it is delayed again. If you get 2,000 a month, and then it is delayed, maybe for 2 months, that is also adding the challenge they have. You are making it worse. So I thank my senior brother, Honorable Wangwe, for this intensively and extensively well done job. I second, Mr. Speaker.
Very well. I didn't hear you speak about the double registration that has been done all over the years. They keep on registering the same people, changing the card this year, and next year another card, another card, another card. Honorable members, I now propose the question that consideration of the performance audit report on the provision of services to persons with disabilities by the National Council for Persons with Disabilities be now read a second time. Yes, Honorable Odanga. Thank you, honorable members. Just for a minute. I'll take it again. Honorable members, I now propose the question that this House adopts the report of the Public Investment Committee on Social Services, Administration, and Agriculture on its consideration of the performance audit report by the Auditor General on the provision of services to persons with disabilities by the National Council for Persons with Disabilities laid on the table of this House on Tuesday, 30th July 2024. Honorable Danga, you may now take.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I stand to support the Auditor General's report on the provision of services to the people of living with disabilities. And I want to thank Honorable Wangwe for moving the motion. Honorable Speaker, it is true that people with disabilities in this country are to be registered as a person living with disability by the council. And you know, they have to be approved by a doctor, and there are very few. And then it is, it is very harrowing for a member, a person living with disability, to be registered. And again, the registration is not done once. I thought after assessment of a person to have been proved to be a person living with a disability, the disability is permanent. I don't think that at one point that disability disappears. So like a person living with disability coming from Matayos or Navajo or so, coming to Nairobi, you can see the pressure on the Nairobi roads, the pressure of people in Nairobi, that person coming, and sometimes they go without being registered. You can imagine what it is. The solution should be that these services are devolved to the counties or sub-counties so that these people don't find it difficult to get registered. Mr. Speaker, walking around Nairobi streets, you will see a lot of people living with a disability, begging, and that kind of thing. And it is being said that even some of them are being abused and misused by other people. They're making business out of the few coins that they are making. This is something that we need to rid of in our country, giving them assistive devices, the cash transfer to reach them all, and even, Mr. Speaker, sometimes even this cash assistance, when you go to places where it is being done, like in the past it was being done even at social hall, the people who surround these people even con them of the money. Many times they don't get the money home. So we really need to work on this. Even the schools, our schools should be given even priority, the special schools. You get that even the ratio of teacher to pupil is very low. They must be given the priority they deserve. When we are doing our constructions, we need to put there the facilities that are required for people living with disability to assist them, the ramps and so on and so forth. I once went to Brussels, and I've never seen a shorter man like the one I saw in Brussels. But he is in the office at the European Union Parliament. He's given facilities that will make him do the work that he does, the table, the chairs, everything. This is what we need to consider for our country, and I want to thank the Honorable Wango for moving this. I support Honorable Speaker.
Very well, the Honorable Kuria Kimani.
Nashukuru sana Mheshimiwa Spika kwa kunipa fursa hii kuchangia kwa ripoti hii ambayo ni mapendekezo ya kamati ya uwekezaji wa umma kuhusu ripoti ya ukaguzi wa utendaji wa mdhibiti wa mkaguzi mkuu wa hesabu za serikali. Na hii ni kuhusu utoaji wa huduma ya watu wenye ulemavu katika Baraza la Kitaifa la Watu wenye Ulemavu. Ripoti hii Mheshimiwa Spika inaangazia hesabu hizi za kifedha za mwaka wa 2013 na 2014 hadi mwaka wa 2019 na mwaka wa 2020. Ingawa kamati hii imefanya juhudi kubwa sana ya kuhakikisha kwamba wameangazia hizi ripoti ambazo zimewasilishwa kwao na mkaguzi mkuu wa hesabu za serikali, unaona kwamba Spika, bado kuna muda mrefu sana ambao hizi hesabu za shirika hazijaangaziwa na kamati. Unapata kwamba hii ripoti inafika mwaka wa 2020 na kwa hivyo kuna miaka 5 ambayo haijaangaziwa. Na ukiangalia Mheshimiwa Spika, hata katika sheria zetu za upande wa Tax Procedures Act inasema ya kwamba zile rekodi ambazo halmashauri ya KRA ama ya utoza ushuru inaweza kuja kuangalia katika biashara yako ni ya miaka 5. Kwa hivyo hii tayari inakiuka sheria zingine ambazo zimeangaziwa ama zimeweza kupitishwa katika bunge hili Mheshimiwa Spika. Ya pili, pengine jambo ambalo tunaweza kuwapa kongole hili shirika ni kwamba angalau masuala ya wale walemavu yameanza kuangaziwa. Kuna wale ambao wameanza kusajiliwa na kuna wale ambao wanapokea zile shilingi 2,000 kwa kila mwaka. Kwa hivyo hili ni jambo ambalo tunaweza wapa kongole, tuseme basi ni jambo ambalo limefanyika vizuri na tunawapa hongera kwa hayo. Lakini Mheshimiwa Spika, ukizingatia hata siku ya leo ambao tunaangazia masuala ya walemavu, tunaangazia haya masuala bila yule tunaita sign language interpreter, yule mkalimani wa wale ambao wa alama, mkalimani wa alama, kuangazia wale ambao kabisa hawawezi kusikia tunayozungumzia. Na kwa hivyo hiyo inamaanisha kwamba ingawa tunazungumzia masuala ya walemavu, bado tunazungumzia masuala yao bila wao kujua tunayozungumzia, kwa sababu ile lugha ambayo tunawatumia wao hawaelewi, kwa sababu katika kikao cha maana kama hiki hatuna yule mkalimani wa lugha ya alama. Mheshimiwa Spika, mchakato wa usajili ambao umeweza kuzungumzwa vizuri sana na Mheshimiwa Mama Kipepeo unazua bado mambo ya kusisimua, kwa sababu hayaangazii wale wote ambao wako na ulemavu. Kuna wananchi wengi sana, familia mingi sana ambao wako na ile mambo ya ulemavu lakini bado hawajasajiliwa. Na kuongeza chumvi kwenye kidonda, kuna wale wengine ambao Mheshimiwa Spika umesema wamesajiliwa maradufu. So kuna wale ambao hawajasajiliwa, na juu ya kuongeza chumvi kwa kidonda kuna wale ambao wamesajiliwa maradufu. Kwa hivyo hii kabisa sio haki kwa wale ambao ni walemavu. Mheshimiwa Spika, kiwango cha pesa ambazo tunawapa hawa walemavu ya shilingi 2,000 bado hakiambatani na hali saizi ya kiuchumi. Na kwa hivyo natumaini kwamba kamati ya bunge ambayo inaangazia mambo ya bajeti katika bunge hili, wakati wanaangazia bajeti inayokuja, wataweza kuangazia na kuhakikisha kwamba wameongezea hela ambazo zika katika zile pesa ambazo zinapewa hawa walemavu, ili angalau zikuwe zaidi ya 2,000 hizi ziweze kuendanishana na hali ya kiuchumi ambavyo ilivyo katika nchi yetu ya Kenya. Mheshimiwa Spika, mambo ya ajira na uwakilishaji wa watu wenye ulemavu bado uko chini sana katika serikalini na bado katika sekta binafsi. Ukiangalizia hata hapa katika bunge letu, wale ambao wameweza kuchaguliwa kama ambao ni walemavu ni wachache sana, ukiangalia wale wengine ambao wote wamechaguliwa katika hii bunge. Na inaonyesha, kwa sababu hii inaonyesha sura yetu ya Kenya, inamaanisha kwamba vile ambavyo hawako wengi hapa ndivyo pia hawako katika sekta zingine, na hasa zaidi katika sekta za kibinafsi. Mheshimiwa Spika, msaada wa vifaa ambao unatolewa kwa hawa walemavu kufuata tathmini hazifuati msaada wa vifaa unaotolewa haufuati tathmini sahihi za kitaalamu. Na hii ndio maana yule mwenyekiti alikuwa anasema vifaa vingine ambavyo vinapewa hawa walemavu kuwasaidia katika ulemavu wao, vingine vimepitwa na wakati, vingine ambavyo vinahitaji vifaa vingine kama vile batteries. Mheshimiwa Spika, unapata wanapewa bila battery, ama hizo batteries zinakuwa hazifikishi muda kama mwaka mmoja ambavyo unastahili, Mheshimiwa Spika. Na kwa hivyo haya ni mambo ambayo kabisa lazima tuyaangazie kama bunge hili, kama kabisa tunataka kuwasaidia wale ambao wako na ulemavu. Kwa hivyo ni masuala gani ambayo tungependa kupendekeza? Tumesema ya kwamba serikali ifanye tathmini mpya ya kiwango cha marupurupu ambacho kinalingana na hali ngumu ya ugumu wa ulemavu kwa hali ya kiuchumi na kulengwa. Kwamba wote ambao ni walemavu wanapata kiasi kimoja cha shilingi 2,000 ni jambo ambalo linafaa kuzingatiwa zaidi, Mheshimiwa Spika, kwa sababu ulemavu kuna tofauti. Bei mahitaji ambayo yanahitajika kuangazia wale ambao ni ulemavu yanatofautiana kulingana na hali ya ulemavu. Na kwa hivyo unapata kwamba zile hela ambazo zinapewa wale walemavu zote ni shilingi 2,000. Na iwapo wengine ni walemavu kiasi kwamba hawezi kutoka kutembea, wengine wanahitaji hata pengine diapers na maneno mengine. Kwa hivyo nafikiri tunafaa kuangazia kutumia teknolojia kuweka kiwango cha marupurupu ambayo yanaenda kwa hawa walemavu kulingana na hali ya ulemavu ambayo hawa walemavu wako nayo. Nimeongezea kuhusu usajili, tuhakikishe kwamba usajili huo ni wa njia ya haki, kwamba wale watu ambao wako na ulemavu wapate kuwa wamesajiliwa, na pia vifaa hivi ambavyo wanaendelea kupewa zibadilishwe ziwe za uendelevu, ziwe na usawa na zikuwe na athari ya wale wanaolengwa. Mheshimiwa Spika, Waswahili walituambia kwamba mtu ni utu, si uumbile. Hii inatufundisha kuwa dhamani ya mtu haipimwi kwa uwezo wa kimwili, bali kwa utu wake, heshima yake na mchango wake katika jamii. Nakumbusha pia kwamba ulemavu si udhaifu, bali ni utofauti. Tofauti tu ya ulemavu ni kwamba yeye maumbile ambayo anaishi kwake hayaafikiani na vile maumbile yake yako. Na kwa hivyo ni jukumu letu kama taifa kuhakikisha kwamba tumeenda pale kati na kuhakikisha kwamba ulemavu wake ama environment yake basi inaambatana na kumsaidia kujikimu katika maisha kulingana na ule ulemavu wake. Na pia ya mwisho niseme tukumbuke ya kwamba katiba yetu kupitia ibara ya 54 inatukumbusha kwamba haki za watu wenye ulemavu, na ni juu yetu kuhakikisha kuwa haki zao hazibaki tu kwenye maandishi, bali zinaonyeshwa katika maisha halisi. Kwa hivyo ningependa tena nikimalizia kuwapa kongole Bwana Mwenyekiti, Mheshimiwa Wangwe, kwa kuleta hii ripoti na kuwauliza kamati hiyo waweze kufanya bidii zaidi kuhakikisha kwamba zile ripoti ambazo zinafika katika bunge ziko karibu zaidi, sio ambazo ziko zaidi ya miaka 5 iliyopita, na kuangazia hilo swala la shilingi 2,000 ni chache sana kulingana na hali ya kiuchumi ilivyo. Hizo pesa ambazo unapewa hawa walemavu kuhakikisha kwamba tutafute jinsi ya kutumia teknolojia kuwapa walemavu kulingana na hali yao ya ulemavu, ili wale ambao wanahitaji hela mingi sana kusaidiwa basi wakuwe bado wanapata hela mingi. Na nikumbushe sisi wote wale ambao tunasema hatuna ulemavu tuko sekunde moja kutoka kuwa walemavu, kupitia kwa ajali ya barabara ambao kila siku tupo. Wengine unaweza anguka kwa bafu, wengine ukakuwa mgonjwa, na Mungu akujalia miaka mingi ya kuishi humu ulimwenguni, ufikisha pengine miaka 100. Ukifika 100 pengine hutakuwa unaweza kutembea. Kwa hivyo utahitaji wengine kuja kutuangalia, na kwa hivyo ni lazima sana tukubaliane kama bunge tujali kabisa maslahi ya hawa walemavu. Asante Mheshimiwa Spika.
Asante sana Mheshimiwa Kuria Kimani kwa Kiswahili sanifu. Now let's hear from the Honorable Anne.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I stand to support the provision of services for people living with disability, as has been tabled by Honorable Wangwe. And I would just want to ride on what every other speaker has said, that when you look at how the Kenya National Council for People Living with Disability has not been able to do enough for these people, and especially passing information to other people and making them come on board to be able to understand how to treat these people who are special and living among us. I would want to give an example of in the National Government Affirmative Action Fund, the kit that is normally given to the woman rep has a very small percentage of where you are supposed to deal with PWDs. And I can be able to tell you that even by the time I was elected, getting the statistics of the people that are living within Kiambu County and are disabled was such a big task that at some point I had to take myself to the National Council for the People Living with Disability to know where to start, because you don't even know where to get the information. And when you start talking to them, they will now start telling you how much they are struggling to also be able to get even the card. So we are saying that this issuing of their cards need to be devolved. Just as we do Huduma, we can have it even within Huduma, where these people know where they can be getting their cards, so that we ease their way of doing things. And above all, let them also involve in employment, let them involve a number of these people who are able to understand. Like now, personally, I involved a disabled person in my board, so that you'll be able to be taking care of these people, because you realize when you bring on board such a person, in a times when people will at some time forget, not intentionally, but by the fact that maybe you do not have so many of such people around you. So when you have such people in so many boards that are involved in such things, then they'll be able to be presenting these issues of these people. And above all, I would also want to talk on the increment. From the 2,000, when you look at the 2,000 is to the person who is disabled. But again, we are forgetting, there is also somebody else who is not able to exercise their duties or even to work just because they have to take care of this person that is disabled. So when we look at these people, we realize that we have 3 people that are already incapacitated, maybe 2 taking care of this person. So if we look at these issues as House, I would want to thank Honorable Angwe so much for looking at this and tabling it with such a passion, so that as a House, we look at the issues that these people are going through every other day, and we take it upon ourselves that we need to be involving them and bringing them on board so that we are able to understand the issues they go around with. And finally, Honorable Speaker, I one time tried to bring on board the people living with albinism in Kiambu County. And I realized they were more than what I could provide with NGAF. So when we look at this and also look at the issues of the women reps who are mothers and feeling issues of serving these people with a passion, I would also want to say that it should also be considered that even as they consider the people to be working with these people, the CHVs who are already in the communities serving in other issues, they also bring the mama counties on board, because we have a kitty where we are doing that, so that they also use us to reach the same people. And as we look at this issue, then we're going to ease the burden that these people are going through every day. I submit and thank you, Honorable Speaker, for this time.
Great. There being no further interest in this particular one, let me ask the mover to reply.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Allow me to first and foremost appreciate my colleagues for really weighing in, making suggestions, and reaching the report further, such that, Honorable Speaker, whoever is going to read the Hansard, together with the report, will really make good of what is supposed to be done and what the Council for Persons with Disabilities can now do. Honorable Speaker, I'm also happy for the presentation taken by Honorable Kuria Kimani, especially in Kiswahili. It's very tricky to get a man of numbers being able to express the numbers in Kiswahili. It's a very, very good impression that not all of us can speak just English. We can speak both bilingual or even 3 languages at the same time. I want to appreciate the woman rep for Kiambu, that what she has weighed in, especially devolving the council activities, is a key thing, Honorable Speaker. Let it not just sit in Nairobi and say Nairobi is the best, but let us also look at it downwards. And thank the honorable member who seconded me, the Mheshimiwa County Rep for Busia, that the contribution she has made is wonderful. It's all round and it enriches us, together with the honorable member for Matayos. That, Honorable Speaker, it's not just the Auditor General who had seen the issue of persons with disabilities. Even the member for Matayos had seen it before. What can we do as a House? Now that we have the report, the Committee on Implementation, I wish that they take it up strongly, Honorable Speaker, that they move away with it, so that after 60 days, let them now make sure implementation is done. Budget cycle should be checked. Let us see that when the budget comes into this House, there is something positive towards the Council, so that we move together as one. Remember, Honorable Speaker, when we are saying we are giving stipends, and we say we rationalize it at 2,000, 2,000 is for the elderly, a mother of some other people behind. But when you say to persons with disability, it's the principle. This is the person you are supporting. He has no any other person against himself or for himself. Therefore, Honorable Speaker, that difference has not been made, and I want to thank my colleagues for supporting my report. I beg to reply.
Very well. You should have also thanked me for reminding you that the registration is done every year. Change of the card, every time they have to pay money, and you are told this card cannot work this year, next year another one. When you retire back to your table and you meet the auditor and other authorities, please check on that. Honorable members, we shall defer putting of the question to this particular one until the next sitting. Next order.
Order number 14, motion, consideration of the fifth report on the financial statements for the NGCDF accounts for 6 constituencies in Busia County.
Mover. Very well, honorable members. The mover to this one had actually asked permission because he's engaged elsewhere, and therefore we shall also defer this particular motion to the next sitting. Honorable members, let's be upstanding. Honorable members, and the time being 6:42 p.m., this House stands adjourned until Tuesday, 22nd July 2025 at 2:30 p.m.